In this video, I want to have a look at another method for graphing straight lines given an equation. So we're going to do this by finding the x and the y intercepts. So first off, the x-intercept is the point where the line crosses the x-axis, and we can find it by setting y equal to 0 and then substituting that into the equation and solving it to find x. Now the reason we use y equals 0 when we're trying to find the x-intercept is because if we have any point that lies along this line, so our line's going to come down and cross it, if we're trying to find where it crosses here, any point on that line is going to have a y-coordinate of 0. Then if we want to find the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So to find that, we're going to substitute x equals 0 into the equation and solve that. So let's have a look at an example. Our first one, we're given the equation 3x minus 2y equals 6. So if we want to find the x-intercept, I'm going to put y equal to 0. So we're going to have 3x minus 2 times 0 equals 6. Now 2 times 0 is just 0, so I'm going to end up with 3x equals 6. And if I divide both sides by 3, I'll get x equals 2. So my x-intercept is x equals 2, which means I know that my line is going across the x-axis right here. To find the y-intercept, I'm going to set x equal to 0. So that's going to give me 3 times 0 minus 2y equals 6. 3 times 0 is just 0, so I'll have minus 2y equals 6. And if I divide both sides by minus 2, I'll end up with y equals minus 3. So I can plot that point as well down here, y equals minus 3. And now I have 2 points that the line's going to go through, so I'm just going to join those together to form my line. I'll take the line past those points as well and put some arrows on the end, and we'll just label our line with its equation. So 3x minus 2y equals 6. Let's have a look at one more example. So in this one, we've got the equation y equals minus 2x plus 4. Now the way that this one's written, it's written in gradient intercept form. So we could do this as we have in earlier videos, earlier in the booklet, where we look at its gradient of minus 2 and its y-intercept of 4, and we could graph it that way. But let's go through and do it with the intercepts, and we can see that it comes out the same way. So if we're finding the x-intercept, again, we're going to set y equal to 0. So we're going to have 0 equals minus 2x plus 4. If I subtract 4 from both sides, I'm going to end up with minus 4 equals minus 2x. And then if I divide both sides by minus 2, I'm going to end up with 2 equals x, or I could write it as x equals 2. So that's actually come out with the same x-intercept as our first example. Now let's find our y-intercept. Now again, looking at that, because we know it's in gradient intercept form, we could just read this off, but we'll go through the process anyway. So if we put x equal to 0, we're going to have y equals minus 2 times 0 plus 4. This whole bit's just going to be 0, so we'll end up just with y equals 4. So if we plot that point on here for our y-intercept, and then we can draw in our straight line. And then, of course, we need to label it as well, so y equals minus 2x plus 4. So there are lots of different methods we can use when we're given an equation to help us figure out what that straight line is going to look like. This is just one of them where we can find the x and the y intercepts.